You know those moments in sports uh, when a team just pulls off something extraordinary and it leaves you, I don't know, breathless?
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's exactly where we're starting our deep dive today.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're going to unpack a really big win in the Women's Premier League. The Royal Challengers, Bangalore women, just crushed the Mumbai Indians women. 7 wickets. It was emphatic.
Wow, a decisive victory for sure.
Totally. And get this, you've actually given me excerpts from the match report itself.
Ooh, nice. A real insider's view.
I know, right? So we're going to go beyond just the headlines and really break down why this win was so huge. It's not just about this one game. It's about what it means for RCBW's playoff chances.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Setting the stage for those who might have missed it. What was the lead up to this match?
Right. Okay, so going into this match, RCBW, they were coming off a tough loss. Really tough. They lost to the Delhi Capitals by just 1 run.
Ugh, those close ones are heartbreaking.
Yeah, and they can really mess with a team's, their mentality.
100%. It can derail a whole streak. So you're saying they were coming off this tough loss and then had to face.
And then they had to face the Mumbai Indians women. Defending champions, by the way.
Okay, not an easy opponent.
Not at all. And even worse, they had never beaten Mumbai in their 3 previous meetings.
Talk about pressure. So the stakes were super high.
Yeah, a win here was absolutely critical if they wanted to be in that top 3 in the WPL standings.
Okay, I'm seeing the picture now. High stakes, tough opponent, need to prove themselves. So how did they pull off this huge win?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. We saw one of those individual performances that people will be talking about for a long time.
Ooh, someone really stepped up. Who was it?
Elise Perry, no question. They gave her player of the match, and she earned it.
Let's talk numbers. What did she do?
Okay, so she bowled 4 overs, gave up just 15 runs, and get this, 6 wickets.
6? Whoa, that's got to be some kind of record, right?
It is. It's the best bowling figures ever in the Women's Premier League. Amazing, right?
Absolutely incredible. 6 wickets in a T20 match is phenomenal.
And the way it happened makes it even more impressive. So for her first 9 deliveries, she didn't take any wickets at all. Nothing.
Okay, so a quiet start. I imagine the Mumbai batters were feeling pretty comfortable at that point.
Right. But then, in her next 15 balls,
Yeah.
boom, 6 wickets.
Whoa, hold on. That's a crazy turnaround. She just flipped a switch.
I know. Talk about a game changer. It really shows you how crucial it is to adapt in T20. To change your approach on the fly, just like in any fast-paced situation, really.
That's a great point, actually. It's not just about having a plan. It's about being able to adjust when things aren't going your way.
Exactly. And when you look at how she got those wickets, 4 bowled, 2 LBW, it tells you she was really accurate, hitting the same spot over and over. Maybe the ball was doing a bit, keeping low or swinging back in, making it tough for the batters to get a clean hit.
That consistency is key. You can't give the batters any room to breathe.
And Perry herself, she said after the match, quote, "I managed to find a good length, and it did a little bit off the wicket." She even said how much she enjoyed it, and that was great to play a great game with the girls.
This is a real team effort. Everyone was feeding off each other's energy.
Totally. And her captain, Smriti Mandhana, was obviously super impressed. She called it a brilliant spell and said, wow, that was some sight to watch.
High praise from the skipper. Did anyone else comment on her performance?
Yeah, actually, even Harmanpreet Kaur, Mumbai's captain, she even admitted how good Perry's bowling was. But, she also made a point of saying that her own batters kind of let the team down, that they didn't really take responsibility to build a big score.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow as a captain. But it's also a sign of good leadership, taking accountability and not just blaming external factors.
True. And the match report, it was really vivid. Talked about Perry making the Mumbai batters dance to her tunes with these, fiery nipbackers.
Sounds like she was just unstoppable. So at this point, what was the score?
Well, remember, Perry had a hand in all 7 of Mumbai's wickets, either taking them herself or being involved in a catch.
Seriously, all 7. That's insane. The impact of one player can be so huge in T20 cricket.
I know. And you know what's even more interesting? Mumbai, they actually started pretty well. They were at 43 for 1 at the end of the power play. So those first 6 overs, when you can really go for it, they were looking good.
Okay, so they were building a platform. But then Perry came in and just shut them down.
It was a total shift. She came in, and Mumbai ended up getting bowled out for just 113 runs.
That's a low score, like really low.
It is. It was only the second time they've been bowled out in the entire WPL, and it was their second lowest score ever.
Wow. You can really see how Perry just single-handedly turned that game around.
It's crazy, right? And think about it. It really shows you how fragile a good start can be. Like, if you don't capitalize on that momentum in T20, things can change really, really fast.
Absolutely. It's a reminder to always stay aggressive and keep the pressure on.
Yeah, and those big wickets Perry got, like Harmanpreet Kaur, she got bowled for a golden duck, one ball, and she was out.
Ouch, that's gotta sting.
And then Sajana, she was totally fooled by Perry's swing. It was like Perry just dismantled their whole middle and lower order.
Sounds like a masterclass in bowling.
Totally. So 113 runs to chase. You'd think no problem for RCB, right?
Yeah, that sounds pretty doable.
It does, but they had a bit of a shaky start themselves. They lost 3 wickets pretty quickly, only 39 runs on the board.
Okay, so a little bit of a wobble. Did they recover?
They did, big time. This is where Elise Perry and Richie Ghosh, they formed this really important partnership.
Okay, so Perry comes in with the bat now.
Exactly, and they just shut things down. Perry ended up with 40 runs off 38 balls, a nice steady knock.
Gosh.
Gosh was great too. She got 36 off 28 balls. They really absorbed all the pressure from Mumbai and just chipped away at that target.
It's interesting how often it's those partnerships that really win you games, especially in chases.
Totally. You know, Richie Ghosh, she said after the game that she knew she needed to take her time at the start because the pitch was playing a bit slow and low.
Smart. Recognizing the conditions and adapting your game. It's not always about hitting sixes.
It's not. And the report said that RCBW, they never panicked. They always looked like they had the chase under control. That says a lot about their mental toughness. They had a bad start, but they didn't let it rattle them.
Resilience. It's a crucial quality in any team, especially in pressure situations.
It is. And then the winning moment, it was almost poetic. Perry hit a 4-off Vastrikar to seal the victory. The player of the match, getting them over the line.
Couldn't have scripted it better.
Yeah.
Hold on, you mentioned dropped catches earlier. Did that play a role in this match at all?
Right, so this is interesting. Nat Cyber-Brunt, she usually has amazing hands in the field.
Yeah, she's known for fielding.
Yeah, but she had kind of a rough day. She dropped 2 catches, easy ones too. The report called them absolute sitters, and they were both off Shabnam Ismail's bowling.
Oh man, dropped catches can be such a momentum killer. It could have been a completely different game if she'd held on to those.
You never know, especially in a low-scoring match like this. Every run counts. If Mumbai had taken those catches, it could have put a ton of pressure on RCBW.
Those what-if moments can haunt you.
Yeah. So let's talk about the big picture, the playoff race. This win was huge for RCBW in the standings.
Massive implications. Tell me more.
Well, with this win, RCBW, they're officially in the playoffs. They've clinched that 3rd spot.
Secured their spot. Huge.
It is. And it also means that the UP Warriors and the Gujarat Giants, they're out. They can't make the top 3 anymore.
High stakes indeed. Every match counts at this stage of the tournament.
And get this, the report suggested that RCBW and MIW, they could actually meet again in the eliminator.
Oh, wow. A rematch after this thriller. That would be electric. Sign me up.
I know, right? It all depends on how the rest of the league matches shake out.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the intensity if they do face off again?
Definitely a storyline to watch.
And speaking of storylines, the report highlighted how close the race for those playoff spots is. Apparently, the Delhi Capitals, their net run rate could still drop below Mumbai's. It would take a pretty big swing in the results, something like a 120-run margin with 90 balls to spare, but it's possible.
Wow, it really is down to the wire. Every run, every wicket, every ball matters. That's what makes this league so exciting.
Right. Every game has consequences. But beyond all the numbers and the standings, it seems like RCBW has a really good thing going on in terms of team spirit, their mindset.
Yeah, that's so important. Especially coming off a tough loss, you need that positive energy. What did their captain have to say?
Well, Smriti Mandhana, she was really clear that even though they lost that close game to Delhi, it didn't make them a bad team. She talked about the importance of keeping your heads up and staying focused.
That kind of leadership can make or break a team. Staying positive and believing in yourself, even when things get tough.
Yeah, it was inspiring, really. And the report even mentioned that in their pre-match meeting, there was this sense of calm, a quiet confidence. They weren't getting caught up in all the what-ifs and the scenarios. They were just focused on winning their own game.
Love that. Control what you can control.
Exactly. And then there's this great quote from Richard Ghosh. She said that after that tough loss to Delhi, her teammates just rallied around her and cheered her up. That's real team spirit,
Yeah. That's special. You can tell they've built a strong bond, a real sense of camaraderie. They've got each other's backs.
So to wrap things up for you, the big takeaway from this deep dive is pretty clear. Elise Perry, she put on an absolute clinic, a record-breaking performance, 6 wickets, to lead RCBW to this crucial win against their rivals, Mumbai.
No doubt. A dominant display.
Right. And this win, it wasn't just about getting 2 points in the standings. It locked them into the playoffs, gave them a huge confidence boost, and it sent a message to the defending champions that they are a real threat.
A statement win, for sure. And it just goes to show how one player can change the entire course of a match.
And that leads me to a question for you to think about. RCBW, they've had trouble with MIW in the past, but now they've got this win under their belt, and Perry is playing lights out. Do you think this could be a real turning point for them? Not just this season, but maybe even in how they approach big games in the future. Could this be the moment they finally break through that mental barrier? It'll be interesting to see how they carry this momentum forward.
Food for thought.
Mm.
That's what makes sports so compelling, right?
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen next.
And that's why we love it.
Exactly.
Until next time.
See you then.